Hello, everyone. I know if you've been waiting, I know it's a little bit minute over. Just trying to bring Vic now is going to join us here as well. So um, I'll give him a little chance to log in here. But hello, everyone. Welcome back to GBC Live. We've got Jason Schutz here from Slow Gravel. Um, if you remember our August ride that we had with them, that was one of our favorite rides of last year. Um, really had everything thrown at us, whether it was the mountain climb up there to TV Tower, and then just heading into Morro Bay. Had a lot of everything there, and that was fantastic. Go ahead, check out our channel. Another video which I haven't done yet, but um, because I haven't done a video, that does not mean it's something I don't want to do. One of the rules here that I have is it's the almost the exact opposite. If I don't do a video for a very long time, that means that I like having nice one in the banks. Now, it doesn't mean it's the inverse. If I do a video right away, doesn't mean that I hate it. But for some reason, I like having nice videos. It took me a year to do Horseshoe Meadows, which was one of my favorite rides. I do not want to wait that long. So if you take a look on our ride with GPS in Shandon, that would be a great ride for all types of riders out there. Wasn't too technical. A couple of mid-sized climbs in there, nothing too crazy. So it's probably the perfect time of the year as things are green, but we're going to talk about High Mountain. So let me bring in both Vic and Jason. And hello, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
So yes, this it looks like we will have a gang of riders because if 3 people here can form a gang for Sunday's ride, but really looking forward to I've already exposed people that are big followers, like how much I love San Luis Obispo, but High Mountain itself is definitely one of those rides that has to be one of the favorites in the area.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those roads that it has to be timed. It can be way too hot. It can be way too cold. It can be way too wet. So we really get a small window each year where we can enjoy the river crossings and the silty hill climbs up to the Condor Lookout, down the ridge line, through Rinconada, back to Pozo. It's unbelievable the entire time. It shouldn't all be in one ride. It's that good.
And let me quickly go ahead and share this in the comments about our if this is I didn't give any context to it. So this Sunday, Jason in Slow Gravel is hosting a group ride, which Vic and I will both be joining up High Mountain out of Pozo. I've got the Strava link here right now live. But this is the first time I've headed to San Luis Obispo with Vic. Vic, being an outsider, what questions do you have? Maybe not just about the riding, but San Luis Obispo in general.
I think my internet is terrible right now. I don't know if you can hear me.
Well, that's not a San Luis Obispo problem.
San Luis Obispo, I don't know much about it, but I've heard the riding's great, and I'm looking forward to getting down there and adding it to my list of cool places to ride.
Yeah, we're excited to have you.
Well, I mean, we'll go a little bit more about the ride itself, but San Luis Obispo, I think like Los Angeles, we don't think of Los Angeles as the county. We think of it more as an area. And you're from San Diego, and probably more as an area. But I kind of think not just San Luis Obispo itself, but the county kind of seems to be very intertwined.
Yeah. Yeah, San Luis Obispo County is fairly large. We really have a lot of different pockets with SLO, Atascadero, Templeton, Creston, where there's just amazing places to go explore, go ride, mountain biking, gravel, road. It's all of the above.
Yeah, and wow, Vic's appearance has changed a lot. Uh, but Vic, you actually have ridden in San Luis Obispo County. Do you remember Royca a few years ago?
Eroica, yes, yes, yes. Yes. Oh, that's the same. Oh, then yes, it's beautiful. Hold on, my wife is coming in making a lot of noise.
Wow, we have some exciting GBC fans. Did she get the VIP package? This is fantastic.
She's happy to see her dogs. I'm online. Yeah, Eroica. So that was Cambria,
Yep.
and that was amazing. And yeah, I love that a lot. I remember there was a lot of olive farms, olive trees. There was a lot of Rolling Hills wineries, great gravel. So yeah, that's awesome. Is that what we're looking forward to?
No.
No, none of that.
No, I'd say we have a fairly different group of ecosystems here. We will not be riding there. No.
Oh, come on.
we're going far outside of cell phone range. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
So what are we
can
looking
promise these are views that you generally have to see with a national parks permit for a 4 or 5 day hike. These Condor Lookout is probably one of the best views I've ever seen on the bike. The ridge line coming off of that, the single track going down Rinconada, it's, you know, the roads heading back to Pozo after we descend Rinconada are just unbelievable.
Yeah. You know, Will here done Mount High Mountain. So first time on a road bike. Is that advisable for Sunday's ride? No. Okay.
No. Anybody joining us, we'd probably suggest a minimum of 38 tubeless setup, but ideally 42 or larger to just be comfortable and enjoy it. You could definitely go narrower. You could run 35s. You could probably run 32s, but you're not going to have a great day. It's going to be a tough ride with that setup.
Okay, well, I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. We're gonna kind of go for the origin story up right now, and kind of tell us a little bit about the roots of slow gravel and the up until now Sea Otter and everything. But tell us a bit about how the club was formed and just kind of like the vibe of it all.
Yeah, we thank you. We all kind of just started riding together. A friend of ours who recently moved away set up a Wednesday night ride and bullied everyone he knew to come out and ride for a year. And over that course of the year, more and more people came out, and we just became a tribe of friends that we were there thick and thin, cold, dry, hot. We were there every Wednesday. Then it became a Saturday ride, and just became more and more, and we realized we had something really special, and that's kind of how Slow Gravel came about, and it allowed us to have a voice to share with the community how much we loved the experience of the rides that we do with each other, and the things that we get to go see, and the adventures we get to go have.
Now, I mean, it's not like a bubble itself, because there's a lot of components to the community, like Volaire and a lot of presence.
Art Cycleries, Scout Coffee, Bovine Classic. Brian puts on one heck of an event here in town, and we've been huge fans of being able to work with him to support the training rides leading up to that, with the community coming into town to show them why we love where we get to ride, and go for a good coffee, and get to work with a bike shop that always makes sure our bikes are working, as intended, and it's great.
So the Bovine Classic is the 4th hardest cow-based gravel ride, I hear.
Yes. But I would wager those who enjoyed the Preserve last year might say it would be a little bit harder.
Okay. I've never done
Well,
It was quite a challenge last year. Yeah.
Also a note here, when you brought up coffee, trip to SLO is complete without some Scout, which I'm sure that means Scout coffee.
Yeah.
I remember John joined us here on the video we had, and it seems like not just the recreational riding, especially within San Luis Obispo City, but the area too. Like, it also has a big presence of just also commuters, and it's tied in a lot more to active transportation and getting around.
Absolutely. Yeah. We have the Greenway through SLO, and it's a whole city infrastructure target that allows people who are commuting to work to be able to have a clear, safe passage through town to make sure that they're not kind of being stuck in the middle of traffic as they're commuting, and they can enjoy a fun way to get to and from work each day.
What's kind of interesting too, like just about the geography of San Luis Obispo, is like most of the coast up from Santa Barbara up to San Francisco is mountains right up on the coast, but the San Luis Obispo area just seems to be the one spot where you kind of have like a little bit of a flattening, where you get a little bit more of the ocean breeze and behind the wall of mountains.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's San Diego when I was a kid. It's a great place to ride. We have Montana de Oro, which is an exceptional mountain bike park in itself. We have Cal Poly, Poly Canyon. There's just so many different options to go mountain biking, gravel biking, road riding, coastal commuting. I had a lunch ride yesterday and stopped and was chatting with some guys bike packing from Oregon. They were on their way to Mexico. It's just, it's a pretty cool place to go ride a bike.
I mean, it already like is a haven for mountain biking, but it just kind of seems like when gravel started its rise, that this was like a pretty good tie-in too. I remember, it was funny, years before I had a mountain bike, I was staying in San Luis Obispo, and I was biking, to Villa Beach, and I was going up pre-Fumo, and
Okay.
right, and that one little part where you hit the cattle grade, and then there's a little bit of dirt. And I was on a road bike. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm riding dirt on a road bike! This is my bike's going to explode!" And I didn't quite. I was just like afraid my bike was like too fragile to ride it, and I did actually get a flat on the way back.
Okay.
But like I've done that ride many times now, and that's just a gorgeous entry. No matter which direction you're going, if you're going to Avila Beach, coming into town is great, but then if you're heading back to SLO, or even when you go up the climb, you can't miss those views of Morro Bay and
the
coast.
Absolutely.
And that's a really cool variety that you can get everywhere there. I was going to, for people right here, we're going to do, maybe Jason will walk us through the route here, and let me throw this up onto the stage. And if I've played my cards right, I think I've got a profile. Yes, boom, down here, which kind of explains the route itself. So let me pull up the page, but I should have put a couple more markers in here, but the start and finish is out of Pozo. Over here is San Luis Obispo. This is Santa Margarita right here.
Yes.
Let's see
Yeah.
that. Okay. So, just for starters, about how long of a drive is it out from San Luis Obispo to get to the start?
It's a good 35, 40 minutes from my house, middle of SLO.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And
to get out there.
you would take the 101 up to the back roads here?
To Santa Margarita and essentially just followed all the way out to the Pozo Saloon. We use the Pozo Saloon as the marker for the ride. Because the fire station doesn't generally show up super well on ways for people. So the Pozo Saloon's been around for a really long time. It's Johnny Cash played there, Willie Nelson played there. It was a big deal in its heyday. It's currently closed for renovation, but there is a very large national parks fire station right across the street from it. So we utilize their parking lot, their parking area for our start and finish. Right there.
Okay, so this is it right here.
Yeah, kind of right where that red is. Yep.
Okay. And the saloon, this is it right here?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, walk us through.
Yes, we head out from the fire station through some kind of a short run through some farmlands. We run over 2 small water crossings, and then we just start climbing. It's depending on the weather, the temperature, the time of year. The climb can be packed or it can be very silty. We probably expect it to be a little silty, but nothing too bad. It's been closed for a little bit to cars. They close it for part of the year just because the park systems can't manage all the traffic through there. So it should be a pretty fair climb. Nothing technical on the climb, and then we'll get all the way to the Condor Lookout, which is really kind of the goal for the day, because the views from there are just like, it's the high definition version of what you're seeing here. It feels like you can see 100 miles in every direction, and then from there
it looks amazing. Jason,
yeah,
what's the pitch on that first climb? Looks pretty steep.
I'd say we probably range from, we'll bounce back and forth between like 4 and 12% to the summit.
12. Okay.
Back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm showing here. Yeah, it says it's about a 7.5% for 3.7 miles. That's not bad, right, Vic? We got this, right?
Easy as.
We got this. 25% or under, we're good.
And I kind of forgot to point this out, but you can also access it from it's a little bit longer, but is it Lopez Lake that's right here? There's a road that kind of like goes around to make it up.
Yeah, you can kind of see it off to the left-hand side. It's zigzagging all the way up to the red. Yep, right there. Okay. That's High Mountain Road. So High Mountain Road actually will pass over to Lopez Lake, where we break off of High Mountain Road at that fork to head up to Condor Lookout.
Oh, okay. I see. So then we looks like we've got a little bit of ridge riding here.
Yes.
And this looks like fun.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah. It's you take it slow, you take it fast, you ride it within your comfort zone. We are an hour out of cell phone range on that ridge, so kind of just keeping that in the back of your head to make sure it's safe as you're traversing it. And then we pass through some kind of small ecosystems at those last sections where you see the clearings before we hit the Rinconada descent. So
when you say ecosystems, are we expecting it to be hot or cold? It's like we're having a heat wave down here.
Dry lands, different agriculture across the hillside. So we'll be going through certain sections where it's a lot of bush and brush, and then we'll get into the patches where there's trees, and then we'll get to those spots there where it's just kind of dry grasslands as you're going through. It's they almost look like if you were to share different pictures of it, you would not think you were on the same ride.
Okay, I guess I kind of screwed up the downhill. I've got two separate lines. We'll find one of them. But then we hit the road that we're going to be coming in on. And are there like people that how many people live out here, or is it so super stark that you're probably not going to see any other people?
I mean, it's Sunday and we're in the country at this point. You may see some folks going to the store to get groceries for the week, or every once in a while we'll see somebody out for a nice Sunday drive on like their favorite sports car, but we really don't see very many vehicles out there.
So much area here.
And the road is pristine from Rinconada back to Pozo.
Oh wow. And we probably have a little bit of uphill, I guess, to get back. And so then I guess we're for this figure eight loop. There's no water along the way, but we'll all stop back at our vehicles and reload here.
Yeah, it's a nice way, depending on the temperature in the morning, to drop off some gear. If you have fresh bottles in the car of water to refill the bottles, or don't want to carry everything for the day, it's just a nice way to kind of break that up a little bit.
Or if people just want to join just for this, probably 17-mile loop, I think that, they can do that, or just hang around and meet us later for loop number 2.
Yeah. I've also done that first loop and gone home. So, it all kind of depends on how you are that day, for sure.
Okay. Now part 2, I'm even less familiar with. It looks like we've got, a few miles of road here, and it's like it's kind of trying to be in cardinal positions until this little hillside here butts in. But then, this part here looks really interesting, and it really looks like we are getting further outside of civilization.
Yes. Yeah, at about the point where you have the 30-mile marker back there, is kind of where we start running into the dirt bikers. So a lot of guys will go out, and we see a bunch of friends just like we're out there enjoying the roads, enjoying the trails. They'll come past us and say hi. But this whole canyon way, all the way up to that summit out there, is just pristine dirt road, flawless.
Now, I see a network here of like other dirt roads here. Have you been able to explore some of those, or?
I haven't. No, we generally stay on this route for this ride. I believe a lot of those are a lot more of like the dirt bike trail network, and other use cases. There's a lot of four-wheeling, off-roading out in that area. So we'll come across a lot of guys, like groups of Jeeps and trucks, and people just out to have fun for the weekend.
So we've got, I guess, 2 climbs here in this back area here. The peak one is like right here, a long stretch. We come back. Oh, wow, there's just so much back here.
And the second one will take us to the base of Black Mountain, or I guess the third one on your chart. So the one further up to the left, where we won't be going up Black Mountain on Sunday, but that's also a very short distance and a lot of elevation gain if that way is chosen, and it's quite a bit like the Condor Lookout Summit, where when you get up to the top of those trails, they're just unbelievable views.
Wow. Geez. And then this descent looks I had the very nice word at the tip of my tongue, but I was gonna say orchestral. You know, the way it kind of looks like it kind of like opens up here to the valley, and
Yeah.
a lot of the turns. How does this one hold?
I think it's a lot of fun. It's still a dirt descent coming back down that, but they've for some reason installed large speed bumps, so good options to catch air coming out of the turns if you like. Not in a way that you feel like it's dangerous. It's only by choice, but I believe they're there for watershed to maintain the surface of the road.
Speed bumps in the dirt.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're large. Yeah. We'll call them out before we get there. You'll see them. They're large, but they're fun to ride over.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember there's one not right near Mount Tam. I can't remember the trail. It was right near the Dipsy Trail where I kind of remember there was something similar. Well, I don't know if it's similar, but something to try and get people to pump their brakes every few hundred yards. But I'm sure this will be of a different variety.
Yeah, and because of where we're at is really considered rural country. I suspect the purpose is for watershed, not necessarily for anything else.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the more I scroll around here, it's just remarkable here. Like there's so much flat open land that it almost seems like a place where you could put a city or something like that back here. Yet there's very few people around. Although this is interesting, around mile 40, I guess this looks like some pretty good sized ranch.
Yeah.
And then is these ranches basically just cattle, or?
I don't know. We're normally going through there so fast. We're not paying a lot of attention. They're pretty ranches, but I couldn't tell you exactly what type of ranches they are.
Uh-huh. Is this a golf course? No. Okay.
No.
And then this is kind of interesting. Coming back in, look, there's some type of creek that kind of goes through here. That's not the San Luis Obispo Creek that eventually feeds in, is it?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
But now I understand a little bit more when you say the water crossings. So these aren't like pretty heavy water crossings, are they?
Just waist high. Yeah. Just pedal really hard and push down.
Oh my God. This is gonna
no. When after a lot of rain, they can be maybe bottom bracket high, but these are not much more than your tire this time of year.
Okay. Well, let me get out of here because there is a good question we have here from Road Bike 5 here. What advice you guys give a beginner wanting to do this ride? How big of a crowd are you guys expecting?
I'd say we probably have like 12 or 15 people come out. If you're a beginner, come find me. Come find somebody in a slow gravel jersey and say, I'm new and I'm a little uncomfortable and what should I do? I would definitely make sure your bike's in good working order, your tires are set up tubeless, and you have the route downloaded on your computer. Being that we are outside of cell phone range for 75% of the ride, we always want to make sure that we're in contact with everybody on the ride. But if for some reason you deviate in off the route, knowing how to get back to the car to flip a U-turn and go home is always the smartest way to go about it. First time I went out there, we were heading out to Condor Lookout. I got a little lost in the fog and had to make the call myself to turn around and go back down to the car. And I texted everybody, and they were able to get the text, when they got back into cell range. But there's probably an hour and a half where I was just off the grid from everybody else because I didn't know where they were at, and I needed to go back in the direction I knew how to get back to the car. So it's a learning process. but we're definitely there for you. The weather should be really good this weekend. And then because Rinconada is single track, there's just going to be sections that if you're coming around a corner and you don't feel comfortable, walk it. There's no reason to not walk it. Don't make poor decisions on a bike because you saw somebody else go through and do it. Figure out how to do it and then work your way up to it.
Quick question: the single track there, Poison Oak.
Yeah, nothing at all like what we got to go hiking through that one day. Yeah, there's generally poison oak in the slow area on off-road trails. I haven't had any issue with it in Rinconada, mostly Montana de Oro, and rainy parts of the year.
What for people that are unfamiliar with the area, what are some of your favorites that are local to San Luis Obispo?
Riding?
Riding and, kind of like to pal around.
I mean, we are in wine country, so there's really not a lot of bad decisions to be made there. There's so many different wineries around town that with great restaurants and great options and cool stuff. Riding is phenomenal. I think we probably have the best sandwiches anywhere from High Street, and I'd put money that we have the best pizza anywhere with my friend Mike's.
Mike's, what street is that on?
It is on Broad Street, I believe, near the fire station. Broad and South, kind of in that area.
Okay. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I've had that. Been to a lot of places there, but
yeah, it's he opened a shop maybe 2 years ago, and right now I think we have to order food 3 or 4 days ahead of time to make sure that we can get in the cut for everything that he's making that day, just because it's unfortunately the newspapers have shared how great it is, and now the whole city's really realizing what a great bit of food we have here.
So we have to order today?
You could, yeah.
Wow.
I think 2 to 3 days out. Should we order it and then ask my wife very politely to bring it up to us at the end of the ride?
I need to see a menu, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess another thing that, to mention is the Thursday night farmers market. My favorite in California, just shutting down pretty much the whole city, and everyone's out there, and must be a treat. Like, so being an out of towner, like not having the opportunity to try everything is probably the biggest disappointment I have. So every time I go there, I want to try something a little bit different, and you definitely feel the pride from all the local farmers and ranchers and everything there, and it seems like a great hub. So whenever we try and do a weekend trip, we try and come up not just on the Friday but the Thursday to try and catch that.
Yeah, it's quite the event. I'd say more than half the city comes out for it on Thursday night.
Now, another thing, looking ahead deeper into April, I know that you'll be having a big contingent out there over at Sea Otter.
Yeah.
And so is the split of people, most people doing the gravel, a little bit of everything? How many laps are people kind of aiming for?
We have a couple guys doing the 90 for the CR gravel race who are also doing BWR 2 weeks later. So it's a great tune up for them heading into BWR down in San Diego. Most of us will be racing the 60 on Friday. We have a handful of people racing the Fuego XL on Saturday. We have at least one guy racing the downhill race on Saturday, And then it looks like we're shaping up for almost a team race for the 40 to 49 for the XC race on Sunday. We've quite a few team members signed up for that. We all kind of want to pick each other off. So the more of us that are signing up, it looks like we're going to be racing ourselves within the race. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Wow. How long is the XC race?
I think it's like 24 miles. Not super long, but it looks like a pretty challenging route.
And where you guys plan on staying during the?
We got a small house. We're gonna do it like we're 25-year-old bike racers. I don't think everyone will enjoy it, but it'll be a memory for everyone. Good or bad.
Yeah, Vic and I were Vic. You're doing the 60-mile gravel too, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. I was going back and forth,
but
between all three distances.
I'm in the last wave, so I won't see any of you guys.
No, we have people in almost every age group wave. Yeah.
Okay.
Slow, and slower.
Yeah.
Get out.
No, I'm actually pretty happy to have the gravel on the Friday rather than the Saturday last year.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's earlier, and even though the lifetime is on the Thursday, I think like the schedule is, even though my family's coming up Friday night, and my daughter's doing the Little Bellas on Saturday, which is the mountain bike camp. I think it just the spacing, having the anxiety of having to wait for your race until the very end. It's nice to get out like a day earlier.
Yeah, and Seattle's grown so
I
much
agree.
over the years. It just gets better and better, and you can't say that for every big industry yearly event. There are other ones that I won't mention that did not get better over the years. So it's nice. I was very surprised last year how orchestrated and organized it is as a participant outside of the bike industry showing up to it.
They do a fantastic job. I mean, it's so many moving parts.
And Vic,
It's like
did you do
4
the
different
gravel race
things
last year?
Yeah.
That was the most well orchestrated bike race I've ever attended.
It was great. It was fantastic, especially compared to the previous year when they shared the XC course, which a lot of people didn't really enjoy. So It was much better, and it's going to be better this year. The course we pre-rode it's even better this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be faster.
Do you have any tips for the slow gravel guys and girls that are racing it?
Yeah.
Insider tips just between the three of us. We don't need to tell anyone else.
There's very little single track. It's only one short section, and the rest is just going to be like flat out. It's really, really fast. And cool. I think vision is going to be like last year. I started out with glasses that were too dark, and I couldn't see anything. It was horrible because it's kind of foggy sometimes there. Yeah. And I couldn't take my glasses off because it was so fast. I couldn't take my hands off the bars. And when I finally got my glasses, I couldn't. It was just too much. So I think vision wear is the most important thing, because I'm going to try and bring some clears this time, or some monochromatic or something. But other than that, just go for it. It's going to be really fun and fast.
Cool.
Yeah, I think, I think like people will probably make the mistake like very early on, because like it always seems to me after you make that climb out of the racetrack, you've got all that long downhill, and some people are like, oh, should I take this as fast as I can? They're just getting their bearings, and I think you really have to press the gas early on there. And then I have to think about doing this more when I do these videos, but I like the fact that I divide it up into those 10 peaks, because like they're all like really short efforts, and a lot of people are going to probably gun for those, and you probably may have to do that early on because they're not technical. It's basically at the end of the lap when you've got those last two climbs
Mhm.
that where you kind of have like very little choice, whereas like strategy kind of like plays a lot more on those other parts. So
They're punchy. The climbs are very punchy.
Okay.
So yeah, don't blow yourself up, but you can't let off either because you'll lose a lot of positions
Right.
on the climb.
yeah,
On the
I mean,
climbs.
because conversely, you'll have all those little downhills. So
Yep.
those parts is not where you'll probably be making up time. You just kind of like have to probably keep attacking. But of course, trying to not, conserve some energy there.
Don't burn
So
all your matches on the climbs, but you're gonna burn some for sure.
Yeah.
yeah,
For sure.
I might try to bring three water bottles and not use any of the aid stations.
Do you have
I
any
don't
word
know.
on the aid station? So the aid station bottles was very cool last year, and I would have been very excited if I didn't have bottles on my bike, and I knew about that. Do you know if they're doing the same thing again this year?
No, wait, what did they do last year? I didn't stop.
Really? Oh,
I guess.
every aid station had Purist bottles. So the first wave of people passing out water had Purist bottles with water, and then the second wave in the station had Purist bottles that had water with mix. And then the third
No,
wave
I
was
got
somebody with
Dixie
gels.
cups. No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I probably I fell into Vic because they've had like those Dixie cups before, and I didn't like look
Yeah,
beyond
Uh huh.
that. But
Yeah, I was blown away. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine what that would cost, but that was sure neat to see.
oh wow, okay, I
is
definitely
that
will
for
have.
the gravel race or the XC race? Because I didn't do the XC. I did the XC race like 2 years ago,
It was in the gravel
but
race.
for the gravel race, we had just Dixie cups on the table, and we
Well,
didn't
I
get a
think that
bottle.
was, you know what though? I think that might have been that first aid station, which is actually I think the aid stations for last year and this year are the same location, but I
Okay.
never stopped. There's the second aid station was right where we started that climb where you're in the video, Jason,
Okay. Yeah.
and it
When I
was
was
just around.
dying.
Yeah, but that turn was such a that turn was so sharp that I just didn't even bother to look closely at that aid station.
Maybe it was the first aid station because the other one that I swear it was at both. But yeah, I remember riding by and going, "Oh, that's nice."
Who's that?
Train.
Train? It's
Oh
a
yeah,
train, yeah.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
was
we have the train in slow.
yeah. That's so funny. Like I
You
was
could be a
looking at
mile away or 10 miles away. You're still gonna hear it.
I
that
heard
is
that earlier.
Yeah.
so. Our friend Bill, um, Vic and I were doing Everyone Loves Raymond the day before, and then we're coming to this. And our friend Bill is only going to come join the uh, high mountain. And then we were looking at the train, and it's funny because like it said it came in at 8:46. I guess it was 8:44 when the when that whistle went off. So pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Good to know that it comes in on time.
On time. Yeah. That train used to deliver houses.
Wow.
Yeah. So the street I live on is a historic street, but a lot of the houses on our street were ordered from Sears catalog and delivered by the train.
Wow.
So you'd pick your house out from Sears catalog. I don't know how you'd order it. Maybe wire the money, but and then at some point the
No,
train would
you'd,
show up.
right,
The
you'd
train
mail
would show
a
up at
check.
your house, and you'd have a few days to get the house off the train, and then the train would leave.
Well, looking at the
Wow.
size of some of these bike boxes, I guess it's not that big of a leap.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we're gonna wrap this up, but we hope to see people out here this weekend, whether it's up at Everyone Loves Raymond, or Sunday up at SLO and Pozo. We've got a link to SLO Gravels to the event here on YouTube right below, or if you go look on our Facebook page, it's around there too. But Vic and I will be there, and we're pretty excited. So, Jason, thanks for joining us, and sleep up. You're going to see us in a few days.
I know. Well, I gotta go get the pizza order, right?
Oh, yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Let's see.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Bye.